Listen closely, because this isn't just another celebrity swirl, this is the sound of a reputation creaking under pressure. And at the center of it all stands Meghan Markle, staring down a storm that gossip circles say is no longer just about headlines, but about consequences. For years, she played the narrative like a violin, pulling sympathy here, power there, turning every slight into a spotlight. But now the whispers aren't about palace drama or tell-all interviews. They're about doors quietly closing, about powerful people no longer picking up the phone, about a brand that once glittered now setting off alarms behind glass conference room walls. And hovering over this shift like a man who's seen empires fall before is Tom Bauer, the biographer who built a career on digging where others politely refuse to look. He's been talking, and when he talks, industry insiders listen, not because he's always loved, but because he has a reputation for following paper trails, not popularity polls. According to chatter fueled by his commentary, Meghan's biggest lifeline, Netflix, isn't the fairy godmother it once appeared to be. That glossy deal that was supposed to turn royal rebellion into prestige storytelling? The excitement, sources claim, has cooled. Executives allegedly expected cultural impact and consistent hits. Instead, the output sparked curiosity spikes, then drop-offs. Big premieres, loud press, softer staying power. In Hollywood, indifference is more dangerous than criticism. Criticism means people still care. Silence means they've moved on. Then there's the podcast chapter, the much-talked-about deal with Spotify that ended not with a bang, but with a corporate shrug. Official statements were polite. Industry whispers weren't. Words like underperformance and mismatch of expectations floated through media circles, clinging to her image like static. One canceled contract is a bump. Two starts to look like a pattern. And patterns make investors nervous. Now the murmurs are shifting from content to cash flow. Not in confirmed reports, but in speculation that keeps resurfacing in tabloids, comment sections, and insider gossip threads. The focus lands on the Archewell Foundation, the philanthropic arm she shares with Prince Harry. Public filings, as with any nonprofit, are open to scrutiny, and online critics have been combing through them line by line, asking questions about spending categories, staffing changes, and project visibility. Important pause, no authority has publicly accused them of wrongdoing. No official investigation has been announced. But in the world of celebrity reputation, perception can snowball long before facts ever enter the room. Still, the gossip machine doesn't wait for confirmation. It runs on implication. And here's where Bauer's shadow looms again. He's suggested in interviews and commentary that the couple's financial and professional trajectory deserves closer examination. Not proof, not charges, but the kind of raised eyebrow tone that makes headlines write themselves. Once that seed is planted, every private jet, every security detail, every Montecito photo becomes part of an unofficial public audit conducted by strangers on the internet. Meanwhile, Hollywood's emotional temperature has reportedly shifted. A few years ago, being linked to Meghan meant relevance, buzz, global attention. Now brands allegedly weigh the upside against the risk of controversy fatigue. Studios crave stars who bring audiences, not online battles. Executives want reliability, not reputational roller coasters. That's the cruel math of fame. Yesterday's symbol of empowerment can become today's complicated partnership. Behind the scenes, gossip columns claim tensions may be rising at home too. Not explosive, but weary. The fairy tale versus institution storyline that once unified Meghan and Harry against the world doesn't generate the same adrenaline forever. He's spoken about wanting peace. She's continued pushing for visibility. If true, that difference in pace alone can strain even the strongest alliance. Again, these are narratives circulating in media spaces, not confirmed windows into their living room. But repetition gives rumors the illusion of weight. What's undeniable is that reinvention cycles are getting shorter. First actress, then royal bride, then whistleblower, then producer, then podcaster, then lifestyle figure. Each chapter launched with dramatic fanfare. Each one faced louder skepticism than the last. Audiences, especially online ones, have long memories and short patience. And that's where Bauer's core warning, as interpreted by commentators, lands hardest. Not that one scandal will end everything, but that erosion will. Trust thinning, excitement fading, partners hesitating. The slow leak is deadlier than the explosion. Even attempts to re-enter familiar territory, public appearances tied loosely to the UK, high-profile speeches, carefully staged photo ops, get dissected frame by frame. Supporters see resilience. Critics see performance. Neutral observers just keep scrolling. The brutal truth about Martin fame is this: if you have to keep reminding people you matter, the reminder itself becomes the story. None of this means collapse is guaranteed. Celebrities have staged shocking comebacks before, but comebacks usually require either reinvention with humility or a breakout success so undeniable inevitable, it resets the scoreboard. Right now, according to the gossip circuit, Meghan hasn't delivered that reset moment. Instead, she's caught in a loop where every move is filtered through suspicion first, applause second, if at all. And circling all of it is the narrative that control, once her greatest weapon, is slipping. Interviews used to steer headlines. Now headlines frame the interviews before they air. Carefully crafted images get memed within minutes. Statements designed to clarify end up fueling new debates. Power in the spotlight only lasts as long as the spotlight feels warm. When it cools, it reveals everything without the flattering glow. Bauer, watching from the sidelines with a pen sharpened by years of takedown biographies, seems to believe we're witnessing that cooling in real time. Not a dramatic crash, a slow public deflation. A Duchess who once spent global attention now competing with algorithms, scandals, and the next viral sensation. A carefully built brand now treated like a case study in overexposure. A love story that shook a monarchy now analyzed like a business partnership under pressure. Fair or not, exaggerated or not, confirmed or not, the conversation has shifted. And in celebrity culture, the shift is often the beginning of the end, or the final warning before a radical rewrite. Right now, the gossip world is betting on the former. Because here's the part nobody in glossy magazine profiles likes to admit: fame built on narrative control can wobble the second that control slips. And lately, the story around Meghan Markle hasn't been hers alone to steer. There's a new tone in the coverage, less breathless, more skeptical. Not the outrage that once powered sympathy, but the quiet side-eye that signals fatigue. Even longtime defenders are starting to sound tired, not hostile, just unconvinced. That's a dangerous shift because indifference spreads faster than scandal. Industry chatter paints a picture of rooms where her name used to spark excitement, now followed by long pauses. Development meetings that once leaned in are said to lean back. Executives, according to gossip columns and anonymous quotes, are wary of projects that arrive wrapped in instant controversy before a single frame is shot. In a business obsessed with risk management, polarizing is often code for expensive headache. And then there's the money question. Not proven accusations, not official probes, but persistent online speculation that keeps bubbling up around the Archewell Foundation. Internet commentators pore over publicly available filings like amateur detectives, debating line items, timelines, and staffing changes. Experts would remind everyone that nonprofit accounting can be complex and that paperwork rarely tells the full story. But nuance doesn't trend, suspicion does. So the rumor mill spins dramatic scenarios about audits and investigations, often invoking the Internal Revenue Service as if an inquiry is already underway. There is no public confirmation of that, none. But the mere idea is enough to keep social media threads alive for weeks, feeding the perception that something, somewhere must be off. Perception is the currency here, and right now it's volatile. And that shift from force to figure is what makes commentators like Bauer sound so certain. In his view, as echoed by those who follow his takes, the era of automatic leverage is over. From here on out, every move has to work twice as hard for half the impact. Fair? Maybe not entirely. Inevitable? In fame, nothing is. But the temperature has changed, and everyone can feel it. The spotlight that once felt like a spotlight now feels more like a searchlight. Colder, sharper, less forgiving. And in that light, every misstep looks bigger. Every silence louder. Every success smaller than it would have been a few years ago. Whether this is the slow fade critics predict, or simply the messy middle before an unexpected comeback, that part of the script hasn't been written yet. It hasn't been written yet. It hasn't been written.